Okay, VA 2012-03.
So these are a set of text amendments, and we went over in pretty good detail at the work session. The first set of them has to do with the adoption of the standards and specifications document that relates to city engineering related projects for water and sewer and roads, where items in the LDR are being reset to simply reference that new document. That document has existed, just not in an official way, and so it's really just cleaning up language so the documents don't conflict with each other in terms of who is referencing who. Beyond that, the remaining sets of amendments are scattered through various chapters. They are either relaxing or deleting certain development standards. It's not focused on any one topic area. It's simply little things within the LDR that we have run into or have had lots of variance requests from. Just to highlight a couple of them, in your packet, let's see. We'll turn to page 89. Just to go through these briefly, Mr. Chairman, there's, of course, a lot of wording changes. Beginning at the bottom of page 8 and over on to page 9, you begin to see the red ink where we're taking things out. And some of these are themes that repeat in several of the zoning districts. Minimum building size in commercial zones. Sometimes we run into a problem there. If you think of your typical commercial building, it kind of makes sense. But when you think of places like Iliano's and Checkers Restaurant, very small commercial buildings, they would not be allowed to be built because they would not meet the minimum requirements. Quite frankly, staff cannot think of a reason why we would want minimum building sizes such as this, when there's perhaps some other development standards that might keep some of the ridiculous from occurring. So if it's not a problem, we're taking it out. Continuing with the red ink, there's also some requirements in here about parking in front yards in RP and OP zoning, which is something that we've had it as regulations for many years. There's always been an out with that regulation by simply allowing the applicant to request basically a variance from it if they provide landscaping between the parking lot and the street, which years ago was something extra and it helped alleviate the impact of the parking lot. But under today's standards, landscape between the parking lot and the street is something required anyway. So it seemed kind of silly to have to go through a special administrative variance review for something that we would approve. Every time it has been requested, it has been granted. So we don't see a reason for keeping it in the regulations.
I have a question.
Okay.
Top of page 9, if I understand this correctly, buildings like Checkers were not allowed as long as number 1 was in place, but now they could be?
Correct.
But we're still going to maintain this width of 150 by 20. That's
a maximum building width. That's not a minimum. And if you look, that's under the CN zoning, which is the very light commercial, and that's basically to keep the big box retail out of CN and require it to be in a different zoning district like CC or CH. Neighborhood commercial, we don't want big shopping centers. It's meant to be small individual retail, smaller parcels of land.
Any other questions? No, are you through?
That's it. That's, if you look through the rest of the pages, you'll see those similar themes reoccurring. Another thing that you may recall some discussion we had the last time we did amendments, which was with the overlay districts, about metal siding being prohibited on the fronts of all buildings in all districts. And I told you then we would like to take it out of industrial zones, and that is one of the amendments in this package. I do not believe that particular provision was ever intended for our industrial parks, and so we're taking it out. For example, the Lowe's Distribution Center, it's 27 acres under one roof. The side of that building is approximately a half mile long. I could not see requiring someone to brick that facade. So that would be an extreme example, but if it were to be built today, that would be a variance case that they would be facing.
That's good. Any other questions? Anyone in the audience want to speak in favor of this request? In favor of this request? you gonna speak, you got to come
And
back.
I'm in favor of it.
Oh, okay. Anyone in the audience want to speak in opposition? In opposition? Okay, Commissioner, it's back to you. Motion?
Make a motion, we accept
Second.
the motion.
Got a motion? Second? Any discussion on the motion? All in favor? It's unanimous. Okay?